When Maycee Barber's name popped up on the other side of that contract, what were your emotions and how excited were you that it was her?
This is exactly the fight that I wanted. Right before my last fight, my coach was talking to me. He's like, oh, who should we call out? Who should we look at? And we looked at the list, and I was like, why not Maycee Barber? And he was like, let's hold off on that one. And then 2 days later, he confirmed the fight for me. So this is exactly the fight I wanted. So I've never been more excited for a fight.
Were you surprised at all that they offered you Maycee, just because you both are up-and-comers that have a lot of hype behind you? You are surging right now. Were you surprised that she was the one?
Yes and no. I feel like you said, we're both up-and-comers, so it's a big opportunity for both of us. But I feel like she needs to be tested, and I'm really that first test she's had in the UFC.
They just came out with a list, top fighters under 25 years old. You were on that list. Maycee was higher. Do you think it was wrong that she was higher than you?
I've been asked that before, and yes. I definitely feel like I don't know, she gets a lot of publicity off the way she talks. She puts herself out there a little bit more than I do, but I feel like my fighting skills speak for me more than hers do. She hasn't really been tested by tough opponents. This is my 5th fight in the UFC. It's her 3rd, and I really feel like this is the first time she's going to get tested.
You just said it. She has been tested. You believe you have. Similar questions. She's higher ranked than you on the UFC rankings. I mean...
I don't really know how it all works, but like I said, I think her mouth gets her a lot of places. I feel like she talks herself out there, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. Good for her. Like, she's getting her name up there, but I feel like I deserve that spot.
You're known for your submission skills on the ground. She's known for her ground and pound. She feels very comfortable if it goes to that area. She's going to win. What do you have to say about that?
Like I said, I feel like she hasn't been tested. She's fought 2 grapplers who are blue belts, and I feel like those are the girls that she's comparing me to, that she was able to ground and pound with. The last 2 girls she fought were, or the last 3 girls she's fought were all strikers. So compared to their ground game, it's just going to be a different world. Like, she's never felt pressure like mine. She's never felt a submission attack game like mine, and I've got ground and pound too, so I'm lethal from anywhere.
So she was up here, she was here for 10 minutes. A lot of the questions were about John Jones' record. A lot of the questions was about Paige VanZant. Not a lot of questions about you. Do you think she's overlooking you?
I 100% think she's overlooking me. All I've heard about is Paige VanZant this camp. I'm like, talk shit about the person you got a contract with, not some random girl that doesn't mean anything right now. Like, Paige is just making her comeback, and you got an important fight in front of you on Friday, so focus on that.
She obviously gets a lot of attention for the way she talks. Do you ever think to yourself as an up-and-coming fighter, like, maybe I should just throw some shit out there as well?
Yeah, but I guess it's not really me. I'm more of a little bit shy, socially awkward, kind of reserved person. I spend a lot of time at the dog park, and that's about it. So I'm not one to like go out there and start something. But like I said, I feel like my fighting skills talk for me.
Saying that though, you always post on social media, and I see you do a lot of media as well. Is that just to overcome that, to get more comfortable with the whole media side of things? I
feel like that's the only way to get better at it, is to keep on doing it. When I was younger, I first worked at the Humane Society. That was my first job, and all I did was volunteer with animals, and I forced myself to get a job at Chili's because I wanted to get better at talking to people. Okay. I knew that it would be part of my job, and I needed to get better at it. So I just try my hardest to get better at it.
I think anyone who's worked in the service industry knows that people are generally terrible. What was your worst experience working at Chili's?
Oh, there's a lot of bad ones. I always say no matter what, like, I've left the gym crying this camp some days, and those days are better than any day I had to clock into Chili's. So I'm just happy about that.
You mentioned that before this fight was booked, you spoke to your coach who you should call out, or asked. You said Maycee. He said hold off. Why did he say hold off?
I'm not really sure his reasoning behind it, but literally 2 days after my Sarah Froda fight, he texted me. He was like, Maycee Barber, October 18th. And I was like, is it confirmed? And he was like, well, if you want it. And I was like, of course. And he was like, good, because I already said yeah.
You mentioned that she is a star because she talks and all this and a lot of attention. Are you looking at this, your moment to kind of steal that attention and become one of those stars in the UFC's women's divisions?
I definitely feel like this is a breakthrough fight for me. Like I said, I feel like she talks a lot, she's got the attention around her, and this is the time to derail that hype train.
Also, your division is wide open. There really isn't a challenger right now that's kind of ahead of the pack. Do you think that with a impressive win, ESPN, that You could be next in line for a title shot?
I think that's a little bit much. I don't think they're going to push me that far ahead, but maybe 2-3 more fights, and then the title shot would be in my future, I think.
And we've talked all about, her talking about all these other things, except for you. Do you take that personally? Does that annoy you that she's like, not talking about this fight and talking more about future plans?
Not really. I guess I look at it and just kind of laugh that she's overlooking me. She doesn't really see my style as threatening, I guess, which is kind of silly since I have 6 finishes out of my 7 wins.
Right.
But I get it. My style doesn't look intimidating. People are like, I just have to defend the takedown. And then they get in there and realize it's not that easy, and they're drowning on the ground and they can't do anything.
Right. Have you seen her this week at all, like in the hotel?
Just one time when she was walking out.
And how was that? Tell me that experience. Was it cool? How did it?
It was just awkward eye contact. That was it.
When you say she's overlooking you, and she could well be, does that give you more confidence? You're like, she has no idea what she's about to get in there. Does that give you a sense of confidence?
A little bit, but also I don't necessarily know what's going through her mind. She could not be overlooking me, so I gotta go in there just like she's prepared 10 weeks for just my fight and gotta really look into it. She's a threat no matter what. She's 7-0 for a reason.
One of the things that I think a lot of people notice about you, we have a lot of fighters say, oh, this is the best camp I had, I made so many improvements, and they go out there and look the same. But with you, it seems like your rate of improvement, it shows every single fight. And you're always matched up in these close fights and the odds. Do you feel like history is just going to repeat itself in that category on Friday?
100%. I always feel like I'm the underdog, but like I said, I feel like my style's not intimidating, it's easy to overlook, and I'll show everybody who the savage is on Friday.
How's Boston so far? Just last question I was going to ask. How's it been being out here?
I haven't really done too much yet. Just a lot of weight cut, and I don't leave my hotel room a lot. I'm so focused mentally on this fight, and it's really just all I want.
What are you doing in the room? Watching Netflix? How are you keeping yourself occupied?
A little bit of movies, a little bit of visualization, meditation, reading, all of that. I always stay focused on the fight.
You mentioned that she gets most of the eyeballs. You don't get as many. This is a big moment for you. A lot of casual fans don't know you. What are they going to say about you after the event?
I feel like I'm just going to really impress Boston. I'm really going to show the world who I am. They're going to see my submission skills, see my all my ground and pound, and I'm just going to put on a show, put on a performance, and really make it a clinic.
Has it been different at American Top Team with Kobe Covington, Joanna, Dustin, Jorge Masvidal, the feud at all? Has the dynamics changed a little bit?
I'm the socially awkward one in the back. I don't really. I work with Dean, and then I go home and hang out with my dog, and that's about it.
Yeah.